Today, we will be talking about who's in your circle, hidden power of proximity. And we have a special guest today, and everybody should know her, our own coach, Deborah Smith.
Hello, everyone.
Now, welcome to Build Your Best Life, where we focus on 5 powerful principles. 1, association, self-discipline, goals, positive mindset, and financial literacy. Today, we're diving into one of the most influential and often overlooked principles, and that is association. There's a powerful saying, show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. The people we are allowed into our circles influence our habits, our confidence, our standards, and even our financial decision. In a world filled with social media, followers, peer pressure, and digital influence, we have to ask the real question: who is shaping you? And is that helping you build your best life? Today, we're unpacking how proximity affects potential, the difference between loyalty and alignment, and how to audit your circle without guilt. Let me get into the important conversation. First of all, your host is the only, and the one and only, Dan Smith Jr., married to the lovely Coach Deborah Smith. Coach Deborah, how are you tonight?
Wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm great. I'm great. I hope you had a blessed day today.
I did.
All right, we're going to dive into this. Our first question, Coach Deborah, please tell the audience what inspired you to include associations as one of your 5 basic principles.
Thank you for that question. Well, I included associations because you can be on top of your game. You can have a prestigious job or be at one of the best universities, dressed to the hilt, have a whip like none other, and just be doing super well when out of the blue, someone that's in your circle does something wrong at the wrong time and you just happen to be with them. That not only puts them in a tailspin, but it also impacts you in your life. So your associations to me is up there of those things that impact your life. When you want to build your best life, you want to be the best that you can be. You have to be careful about who you have around you.
That is so correct. I would think about the other night we was at church. One of our deacon's daughter came in and she was real upset. So, and I asked her a question. What's wrong? She didn't really want to talk, but she started talking. I said, well, same thing we're talking about tonight. Your associates. Who you associate with? Who's your friend? What circle you running with? And then she realized what was going on. But that's great. That's great. We're going to dive into the next question. When you hear the phrase, who's in your circle, what does that personally mean to you?
Well, personally, I know that at different times in my life, the way I looked at those around me is different. So back, let's say 40, 50 years ago, I just wanted to have fun. So I wanted to be with the fun people. I wanted to be included. 40, 50 years ago, not so much now. I more or less want to stand out myself. I live my life for myself. So I do those things that I know fit in with my values and what I like in life. But there is one thing about me. I never really allowed those around me to impact me or make me do something that I know was not right or follow them into getting in anything wrong. I can't remember one time we were at school during the summer getting our classes for middle school. And I did leave the school grounds, and I shouldn't have. But for the most part, I probably was too afraid of my mom to do anything that was too far wrong. But I've always been the type person that tried to stick with my values and my ethics and what I know is right and wrong.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Oh, welcome, Joshua. Thank you for joining us. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Of course, Deborah, how have your associations influenced major decisions in your life, positive or negatively?
Well, one way that has impacted me, um, because of the associations or people that I was around, and I noticed how they treated other people. Even though they always would say to me, "Oh, try this or do this because I'm your friend." But then I would watch them and how they interacted with others. So I knew, well, if they treat that person that way and that's supposed to be a friend, they'll do me the same way. So I have to be careful with that person. As my mom used to say, some people you have to handle with a long handle spoon. So while, you know, maybe going somewhere with them every now and then or talking with them at work, I kept my distance for the most part because they were just living in a circle that I didn't want to be in. So I found out quickly that people can impact your life in a positive way and people can impact your life in a negative way. I've been around people and, the group is making fun or laughing at someone. And then, one person in the crowd, says, well, why are y'all laughing? That's not funny. It could be, several different things. Somebody that was overweight, somebody was underweight, while people wanted to make fun. I just did see some people had, character and values, and regardless of what other people were doing, they stood up for that person, the underdog or what have you, and they followed their values. And so I learned early on that you have to be careful because, again, some people can lead you down a positive path and some people can lead you down a negative path, but you're the one that are allowing yourself to be led. So that's why, one of the things I would like to say is, it's important for young men, especially, to stand out, not to try to fit in with their friends, because fitting in with their friends can get them in a whole lot of trouble.
I want to add a little bit to this. Let me ask you a question. In that circle of friends, you have a special friend. Do you talk about things happening in your life that was positive, but you shared it with them and they got jealous and they turned it around?
Yes, that happened a lot. I mean, it's funny you mentioned that, but even I had someone and they said they were my close friend, and we were having an event, and I was the leader of the group of people, and I wanted to look nice, and so I had gotten my dress or whatever, and they were the first one to see it, and then it was like, I think my mom that warned me the first time. I had several people that warned me, but my mom was like, I don't think she's jealous of you because, when I wasn't around and she looked at what I was wearing, she had something to say about that. So in my face, oh, that is beautiful. Oh, you're going to look so nice. But then behind my back, it's like, I wish I had a nice dress to wear, whatever. And then you hear, rumors about you or things that are untrue, and you're like, well, where is that coming from? And a lot of times it is those people that you have in your circle, and you've told them different things, and next thing you know, the boyfriend you had, you don't have them anymore. Are they cheating? Or a close friend you had, they're mad at you, and you don't understand why they're mad at you. It's because of someone in your circle. And as you said, you might say, oh, that's my best friend. She might ride or die. No matter what, we'll always be friends. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna show you. So yeah, that's a good wrench you through in that.
So you're basically saying that if you have a close friend, it's best to, in your personal business, keep it to yourself.
Right.
Because they so could turn around. That was happening to this young lady that we was talking to. And I told her the same thing you said. But after, probably about a 10 or 15 minute conversation, she understand what we was talking about. All right, we're going to go into this next question. What are some signs that someone in your circle is helping you grow versus holding you back?
Well, I think when you are around others, sometimes, you have certain skills, and those around you may have different skills. Sometimes we do things, we get overwhelmed, but that positive person that's in your circle, they're never going to do anything that will make you look bad. And they're not going to let you fall on your face either. I have a close friend, and I know they're my close friend. It's like my sister. There's nothing for her to send me a text and say, hey, just a reminder, this is happening Wednesday, or this is happening Saturday, because she knows that I have a lot on my plate, and sometimes, I have it on my to-do list, I might overlook it, but she's not going to let me or our group, our organization falter because I may not be at my best. She's always going to remind me, is it something, I noticed this week you got a lot to do. Is it something that I can help you with? And I have like 2 or 3 people that are in my circle that will help me do that. Coach Miller used to always say, everyone has someone around to assist you. And I have found that to be true. Coach, if I get overwhelmed, or somebody drops off of my Build Your Best Life calendar and they fall off, he's someone I can call and say, hey, and if he can't do it, he's going to immediately find someone to help me. Even though he may be busy. Jocelyn Charles, she's like that. Yvonne Whitfield, I shouldn't call people names because I'm going to forget somebody, but Shonda Bryant, Dan Smith, Dan go make sure whatever I'm doing, hey, you can't just sit there and keep working. You got to eat. You got to do this. You need to take a break. When you going to go to bed? So your circle will help you in a positive way when you have that right circle around you. But the flip side of that is you can have those people that are negative and they don't want to see you succeed, and they just as well fail and be happy seeing you fail. So they don't care about themselves as long as, people say, oh, yeah, they couldn't handle that. So it can go both ways, but your associations are so, so vital to you and you keeping your credibility in your name.
Good. I found one thing in a positive person in your circle. If you step on their toes, and you don't mean to step on the toes, some of you might just say it, but they'll come back to you and say, hey, wait a minute, let's talk. And that way, I know that's a positive person in your circle. Because, I have had a deacon, I might have stepped on his toes a little, but he came to me, he said, oh, I need to talk to you. So we hashed it out. It's just I had so many things going on. I might have said something that he didn't really like. But it didn't made him mad, but it made him come to me and we talk. So that's great. That's great. All right. Now, how do young men handle loyalty when they realize they're outgrown certain friendships?
Well, this is one of those areas that is key and why we have associations as one of our basic principles because our young men, I don't know if it's that they don't have that, I don't know, like ladies or girls, they seem to like click and you have these little groups that are giggling and what's going on. So I don't know. I'm not a male, so I don't know how men do in similar situations. But I know a lot of times, when a guy gets a friend, they just have them around for a while. So what happens is when you are 2 and 3 and 4 and you playing kindergarten, all is well. You go to elementary school, all is well. You hit middle school, then if you don't have the same ethics or values, one household may be teaching something different than another household is. In one household, they may be kind of like, they're left alone to manage themselves a lot of times. It's not structured, like if somebody's saying, okay, somebody's having a sleepover. Well, at the Smith house, they can have all sleepovers they want to. If that's not, if we're not going to be chaperoning, you're not going. Well, why can't I go? This person go and that person. But somebody else may say, oh, yeah, you can go. Well, as they get older, then they want to continue to stick with their same friends. But when they get into different situations, circumstances, they may notice, we used to be close. We used to do everything together, but now they hang with this group over here. And then you begin to see that group over there, they're getting behind the school, they're smoking weed. You've seen someone take somebody's lunch money, whatever. And so they know that's their friend. They've seen them with this crowd, so they don't know, okay, are they changing? Are they beginning to act more like someone else that's not doing the right things in life? And so as a parent, if the parent sees that, or if that child says something to the parent, what is the parent usually going to say? Hey, I know that's your friend, but as you can see, they're in a whole different level than when y'all were younger. They're hanging with people that are doing some drinking, smoking weed. They're taking small items from people that can get into large items. If you happen to be with them and they've done something and they get caught, you going down with them. Or if you're with them and they do something, you're going down with them, whether you were just there, didn't know what was going on, or you decided to go. So you have to make a decision that can be your friend in name, but you're going to have to distance yourself. And a lot of our young men, they struggle with that. But that's been my friend since I was 3. Why do I have to distance myself? And that's one of those conversations where you have to really sit down, you have to listen to their part, and then you have to tell them your part. You listen to what they have to say, but you explain how, and I know both you and I, and probably most of the people that are listening, have run into those situations where they have seen a smart young man with everything going for themselves and made one simple mistake. And then that choice has negative consequences. And so you got to make a decision. Do you want that to be you? Or do you want to remember that this is the school you want to go to? This is what you say you want to be in life. This is the organizations that you want to join. If you get nicks on your name, your chances go down that you can go to these schools, you can join these fraternities or whatever. So you have to make a decision at that time. So that being female, but being around my sons is my perspective of how our young men allow things like that, their friends deter them when they get
Okay.
older.
Yeah. I was just looking at this thing. I'm gonna break up this with one word: friends, and then friendships. You can have friends, but that friendship is a connection that you have with that friend that is valuable to you and valuable to him. So if their friendship is not valuable to you and them, then you just got a friend.
Mm.
Okay, we're gonna move on. In today's society, and I'm sorry, in today's social media culture, how do digital association impact mindsets, identity, and confidence?
Well, on social media, people get on social media and then they either see something that's trending, they see a negative situation, they may be in it, they see different things. They see the young man with the built body, tall, you know, hanging out, getting the girls. They see young men, they got gold, silver, platinum. uh, they wearing all the Gucci outfits and even Louis Vuitton, all these things. And so they're seeing this on social media and they're thinking that's the normal, that the average person got all that, which is not true. And you don't know if those things that you see are the real deal, are they fakes. But you and I probably a lot of our listeners know that your clothes and your material things don't make you. So if you want to grow into being a young man that people can, when they hear your name, they think good things, they know you're doing good things, and they think the best of you, you have to conduct yourself in a way that mirrors that. So social media can really can mess you up. It can mess you up because you either trying to, we used to say you want to be like the Joneses. So they're trying to be like the Joneses, but they're not trying to be like the Joneses. They're trying to be like who is it? I can't even think of the people. But all these people that got all the money, like a Jay-Z, a Beyonce, what's the little lady's name that was married to, can't think. Help me out, Jocelyn. I can't think. But anyway, they think that everybody is like these people that's got all this money. They can just buy anything they want to, take all these vacations. I can go to Dubai. I can just tell my mom I want to go this and that because they see it on social media. You don't know what those people are doing behind closed doors, but that's not regular life. You should earn what you have. Get everything that you have in an honest way and know that what you see on social media is not real life. That is people, that's AI that's altering looks, altering bodies, altering words, telling people what to say. People can spread rumors. People can go in your social media page and pull scams. So social media will break you. Be someone that cares about yourself and you know what real life is. You have been taught basic principles. You have been taught biblical principles. You know right from wrong. And that's what you want to live by. You don't want to live by what you see on social media because social media can be the end of you. It really can.
I agree because in my line of work when I used to be in law enforcement, I've seen go to cyber center and seen these different uh, comments or stuff put on social media that is fake, and it's easily to fake it. So everybody need to be careful of what's on social media. It might seems appealing to you, but it might be the wrong thing. It might not be real. All right, that's great. That's great, Coach. Now, what roles does accountability play in a healthy circle?
Well, in a negative circle, people, if you go somewhere and act a fool, then that circle is going to let you do that. But if you are in a healthy circle, if you say you're in a conversation and you get angry and you're about to just, if you're in a healthy circle, one of your friends is going to give you that look, or they might kind of pull your sleeve or something, or move toward you so they can get your attention, because they're not going to let you act like that. They know you're better than that. And it might just be one of those days where you're having a bad day and you're going to let somebody take you out of your character. Well, most people say people can't make you do anything, but sometimes you just lose it. You just not, this is when they say something and you're about to lose it. But when you're in a healthy circle, people are going to help you to hold yourself accountable. Hey, come in, let me talk to you a minute. Just now this happened, and I don't want us to have words or anything, or have people think we're angry at each other. There's nothing that can go on that we can't say something to help the other person and another one not be offended. That we're better than that. Yeah, okay, yeah, I got you. I'm just or something like that. But having that healthy circle, and being around those people that are good for you, that helps. It's like the ark. Now, I know we have at my church, we have a lot of different ministries, but I love the ark. There are people there in that circle, they're honest. We got some to say, hey, no, I can work on a regular basis, but if you need me on this particular Sunday, come and get me and I'll help you out. Right, Miss Curly? But that's a healthy circle. They know when to say no. They know what they can do, or they have a capacity to do. And they're honest with you and they tell you that. And that helps you so much more than somebody saying, oh yeah, I got you. And then when you ask them, they're like, no. So that's being healthy. We can, we work together, we work as a team. But one thing I gotta say, we always start out with our consecrations in the morning. If it's one person on time, 5 people on time, we're gonna pray and ask God to come into the midst so we can be together. My sisters, Agnes and Angela and Wilma and Cleo and Peggy, when we go out, we have so much fun. We can say and do and act crazy with our group. We never get upset with each other or whatever, because we got a healthy group. Now, not all female groups can get together and do that, because we see that on TV. We have all these programs on TV, virtual reality, why everybody's not getting along. Why they're not getting along? Because they're not healthy. We want to be healthy. We want to teach our young men to be healthy. Some of our young men are in 2-family homes. A lot of them are not. For the majority under 18, they're not. But we want them to be in that healthy environment so that they know what a healthy environment is like. So if you show them those things at home, then they can know how to interact when they go out. But a lot of times, and this is my words, you don't know what you don't know. So if no one is teaching them at home, they don't know what a healthy circle of peers or friends are, unless someone takes the time to show them or teach them. Because you can tell them all day long, but if the people around them are not modeling that behavior, then they're still not going to get it. So healthy is healthy. We'll do it. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, you good, you good. I was saying that's so true because a person could be watching you and you trying to exhibit this healthy habits, and they say, wait a minute, she don't do it. Why she want why you want me to do it? But that's so true. That's so true. I'm gonna give a shout out to Curly and Agnes. Good evening. All right, we're gonna move right along. How can someone begin conducting an association audit without becoming judgmental or isolated?
Uh, well, you have to holding people accountable. Who am I? Okay, what does scripture tell us? To be a friend, we have to be friendly, right? So to be the right type of have those right types of people around us, well, we need to be the right type of people because who wants to be around negative Karen all the time? Nobody. We don't. I know I don't. I want to be around people that know how to have fun, how to love on me, tell me when I'm wrong. So you have to get together and you get around those right types of people. But it's like, hey, tell me when I'm wrong. Tell me if it's something I'm doing that I need to change. A lot of times I'll have a meeting and everybody's just really, really quiet. And I know it's some hard conversations I'm having. So, like afterwards I'll say, was I too negative? Well, was I negative? Did I say it the wrong way? They say, no, they was just quiet. He's probably stepping on some people's toes. But if you don't speak up, you get the same results, but you want to receive what you give out and vice versa. So in order to get that audit started, you need to know, even if you got to read a book like this, Build Your Best Life, and I talk about associations in here, you've got to do some research and find out what is a good association. What does that mean if you don't know what it means? Because everybody doesn't know what it means. Find out what that means. What do I need to do? Am I doing all the things I need to do? Is it something that I could do differently? Because I know when I get like overwhelmed or I'm really, really tired and my voice, and my voice will start changing levels. And then I know I need to go sit down somewhere. I try not to say much because I don't want to hurt someone's feelings. I don't want to say something that I shouldn't say. So I know that. So I try to, okay, I'm not going to say anything. As an example of that, I had something that was really, really burdening me down. It was a church situation. We were in a leaders meeting and I wanted to say something, and I had been sitting there for about 15 minutes, and they were saying, does anybody have anything? And I'm just sitting there because I'm like, okay, I got to say this, but I got to say it in a way that gets my point across. And it's okay if I'm passionate about it, but I don't want to offend anyone. So I have to tell myself, okay, how do you do that? So I think if more people would take accountability for who we are, how we interact with others, the things that we do, are we positive? Are we negative? And being positive is always good. Talking about associations, but see, that's another one of my basic principles is positive mindset. So you want to wake up thinking, I'm going to be positive today. It's going to be a good day. And something might happen, but still, it could have been worse. So start an audit of yourself so that you can be better and interact with others.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. All right, we're getting close to the end. I got one more question. Someone wants to elevate their life financially, spiritually, emotionally. What kind of people should they intentionally seek to be around?
Okay, so someone that wants to change their life financially, spiritually, and emotionally. Well, let's start with emotionally. So if you notice that the majority of people that are around you are just always what I call extra, you can't be in a situation with them Unless they going all the way right, just saying things that's all out of context. It has really nothing to do with what y'all are talking about. And it's just like a Debbie Downer. You know, you don't want to see them coming. That's emotionally draining. So you don't want that. How can you change that? Okay, think about the audit. Think about, is that really a friend? Hey, you know, we were having this conversation and we were talking about how parents can get together and start attending some of the school board meetings so that we can have input into the lives of our children. And you went on this rant about Trump. We can't do anything with Trump. But you went so loud and so hard talking about him that everybody backed up. We lost momentum. And we were in such a good place because we need to speak up for our children. And you kind of, you know, made us kind of shift gears. So maybe next time kind of think about it when we were talking about that, because politics, you know, we're not up there in the Senate and the Congress and all that. So a lot, if it's not voting time, there's not a lot we can do, but we can change starting at home with our children in our district. Oh, okay. But if they continue to do it, as my coach says, growing trees lose leaves. So if they keep draining you emotionally, because that can be draining, then you need to distance yourself. And it's okay. People come in our lives for a reason, a season, and some for a lifetime. So it's okay. On the spiritual side, kind of the same way, you know, I have my things that I do to make me feel like I'm spending time with God. And that's what I do. But nobody died and left me in charge. I can't say, Dan, I'm reading my Bible and now, and after I finish with that, I'm gonna sit down and I'm just gonna close my eyes for 30 minutes. What you doing? You gonna come over here? I'm not in charge. You may do it a whole different way. Spiritually, it's okay to reach out to those who don't know about Jesus and teach, and you don't beat anything into anybody. Those are subtle conversations you have a little bit at a time. And you kind of, teach people and show them, but you can show them more with your actions. But you never get in a place, I don't care what your title is, you never get in a place where you're dictating what someone else does in their spiritual life. Unless they ask you, seems like I could do a little bit more in reading. What do you read? That's something different. As an example, and people probably say, you do? Like when Bishop has been here 30 years. So it had to be I want to say it was the first year that he was at St. Paul. His brother came and he did some teachings. And one of those teachings, he taught us, he gave us a psalm for every day of the week. Guess what? 30 years later, that's one of the first things I do in the morning. Psalm 23 on Monday, Psalm 27 on Tuesday, Psalm 34 on Wednesday, Psalm 37 on Thursday, Psalm 41 on Friday, Psalm 90 on Saturday, and Psalm 91 on Sundays. So if someone asks me, I could suggest that, but it's just a suggestion. But that kind of helps us, just share. If someone asks you, then if they already have their own spiritual life, but if it's someone that's going through something, you can suggest something that will help them. So don't try to be a burden over just take over people's lives in any of those situations. And then financially, people are different, but you can give suggestions. You can hear somebody like, oh man, I just hope I make it to payday. And you hear them time after time saying different things. And you can bring up, I used to be like that, because I did. These are some of the things that help me. So you can mention those things. So it will help you with those people that are in your circle. And that's what we should be all about. If you can't help those in your circle, then that's not, they can't help you. You're the wrong mix of people. You could be the one that's not right for the rest of the circle, or some of the people in the circle could be not right for you. So again, we all have faults and things about us that are not so good, and some things are. But associations work both ways. But believe me, there are so many people I know that are sitting now saying, I wish I hadn't gone with that person. Excuse me. I wish that person told me to go mail that package for them. I wish I didn't get in a car with that person. I wish when that person told me, oh, they didn't want their mom to see that gun, if I could just hide it for them. I wish when that person told me they had all the answers to the test, that I had say, well, do well, I'm going to study. So associations can make or break you. And that's why it's one of my basic principles.
Thank you. That's good. That's good. And a lot of times I tell they don't listen to me sometimes. Like spiritually, young men, I said, well, if I wake up early in the morning, if I can't sleep, my favorite thing is to do roll out the bed, go in the office, and pick up my Bible. And I might read, I don't know, 10 or 15 chapters until I get sleepy again. All right. Well, we're getting close to closing. Deborah, is there anything you want to say before we close?
Just that, I thank everyone that's listening to us. I hope that something that I have said has resonated with you, and it's something that you can use, something that you can share with someone, especially our young men. And again, most of you know this book, Build Your Best Life, it does have all my 5 basic principles. And that first one is associations. So you know someone that needs a book, you can tell them where they can get it on the website. They can't afford it, you know how to find Coach Deborah. Just tell their parents, single mothers about Build Your Best Life, so that they can be encouraged and they can get tips from business people, educators, pastors, mentors, coaches, maybe someone out there that's looking for someone to mentor. So this is just a place that you can have a good association. You can get with some others that have good associations. So again, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And thank you, Deacon Dan, for hosting us tonight.
I have a great pleasure in doing the honor of doing that tonight. We're going to give a shout out to Deacon Henry Holmes. He's viewing us tonight. Good evening, Deacon Holmes. But as we close today's conversation, remember this. You cannot build a better life with the same thinking, the same habits, and sometimes the same circle. Growth requires courage. Elevation requires elevation. And sometimes maturity means choosing alignment over comfort. Your association influences your discipline. Your discipline shapes your goals. Your goals impact your finances, and your mindset determine how far you go. Well, so today, ask yourself, who has access to the next version of me? Protect your circle. Guard your energy. It's been a great night. Thank you for joining us, and build your best life intentionally. Until the next time, stay focused, stay disciplined, and stay surrounded by purpose. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for viewing.
Good night.
Night.